Hello, and thank you for contacting Wave Support. I see from your clinical request that you've refit this patient and are having some unanticipated results, and you're looking for some feedback and some thoughts on how to get you back on track. Well, just a couple thoughts when we look at your first design. From my understanding, is back in the 2013 lenses. Um, they were probably doing reasonably well visually, from my understanding, but they had some problems with comfort with the lenses. If we look at your topography here, this is your 2013 topography on the top, and you see a little bit of a ridge here down on the bottom, that red ridge on the bottom. That's probably contact lens induced, probably from their original Presbylite 2s. And so when you design a lens on that, this first design we pull up here right in the middle, you can't exactly rely on the wave design to be a perfect representation of, would be the ultimate lens for this cornea, since the topography is a little bit less than perfect. Now, in a perfect world, as you know, if you could have the patient stay out of their contacts for a few days and let those corneas relax, that'd be the ideal way to do it. Of course, that's not very practical for most of us in practice, and so sometimes you just have to go with what you have to work with there. But when you go to your second design, what you'll notice is you've got even more of a ridge on this lower topography. Let me pull it up just a little bit here. Got more of a bottom ridge, but what's more telling, when you look at the designs that you ended up coming up with, over on the right-hand side is your 2014 design, and the left is your 2013. If you look down in the right lower corner, you'll notice that there's a definite ridge in the bottom from about 6 to 8 o'clock on the 2014 design, the newer design. So it tells me they've got significant difference in topography. So you're basically designing on a totally different looking cornea. And so in your first design, in your RSIM and your old designs, which probably kept the optics rather simplified, although you had a toric, about $1.50 a cylinder. And when you went to the new design, I've noticed you've got much different refraction, and you went to freeform. So in the newer design, what probably happened, you end up creating a very accurate lens on a cornea that's even a little bit more inaccurate. The freeform created some sophisticated optics, and having this refraction is probably further off from the patient's true spectacle correction. If they were out of their gas perms for a while. So I think that would probably explain why the second lens seems to be causing so much problems with the vision. What I would probably do to get back on track, the easiest thing to do is, if that first set of lenses from 2013 were fitting reasonably well, from your standpoint, the vision wasn't too far off, what I would probably do is I'd go back to those designs. And even though you've got this newer topography, again, this is because you've got all this extra ridge in the bottom, my guess is that's probably less accurate than what you have in the top picture on this 2013. So I'd go back to that design, redesign this lens. And if you're trying to get the lens to be a little bit easier to get out, maybe flattening it up a little bit, an easy way to do that is just take it from axial design to tangential design. When you do that, tangential, if you recall, better represents the peripheral part of the cornea. Axial probably looks at the central part a little more precisely. But from a clinical standpoint, tangential lenses end up being about a half diopter flatter overall. And so that sometimes is an easy way to get lenses more comfortable. I found through experience that sometimes if you're getting a little lens awareness with one design, if you just switch over to the other one, sometimes you can solve the comfort issue just by changing, flattening it up or steeping it slightly there. And that way you maintain similar optics, and then just take your over refraction over those original lenses and pop it into the over refraction button here. And I think that'll probably keep your optics a little more or a little less complicated, and probably give you a better result. The same thing applies for the other eye, the right eye. So I hope you find that helpful, and once again, thank you for contacting Wave Support, and have a great day.